37 minutes. That's all I had to pack up and disappear before Meredith Hawthorne sent a bulldozer straight through my front door. You know that feeling when you wake up sure the world's about to kick your teeth in? Multiply that by 1,000 and you'll land somewhere near my shoes that morning, standing in dew-soaked grass, watching a pack of HOA security guys form a human wall between me and the place I called home. Diesel smoke hanging in the air, the sound of pine needles crunching under boots, the yellow cat bulldozer idling like a monster waiting to be let off its chain. Meredith steps out of her white Bentley like she owns the sunrise, sharp blazer the color of a fresh bruise, platinum hair pulled so tight I wondered if it hurt. Her smile could slice a tomato, and her diamond earrings caught the light, spitting little rainbows across the gravel. "Time's ticking, Mr. Nobody," she says, tapping a diamond watch, "probably worth more than my cabin. This land's already sold, sweetheart. Private equestrian club, $100,000 bets, the whole 9 yards." Her security crew shifts, a few looking nervous. Can't blame them. I was supposed to be losing everything. But what nobody here knew, least of all Meredith, was that my world had already been turned upside down 3 hours earlier. At 4:17 that morning, my phone rang. On the other end, Natalie Brooks, lawyer for Theodore Sterling. I'd never met the guy, but I knew his name. Everybody in Michigan did. He owned more coastline and factories than most people own socks. Natalie's voice was pure exhaustion, and I could tell she'd been up all night. "Mr. Coleman, you need to come in. It's about your inheritance." I remember blinking, dizzy. Inheritance? I didn't have any rich relatives. My mom cleaned offices, worked 3 jobs, never breathed a word about any long-lost family. But turns out, somehow, I was the sole heir to the entire Sterling empire. And Meredith Hawthorne, my current tormentor, was Theodore's right-hand woman. The lady trying to bulldoze my home was seconds away from learning she'd spent her morning threatening her new boss. But hold on. Let me back up a sec, because if you'd told me 9 weeks ago I'd be fighting for my life and a $2.7 billion inheritance, I'd have asked what you were smoking. It started with a welding shift at Sterling Shipyards. Fog so thick you could lose your lunch pail in it, sparks bouncing off steel beams, my breath fogging inside my helmet. The northern horizon, a floating beast of a ship, loomed overhead. Then I heard it, the snap of a steel cable. Looked up and saw a 3-ton beam dropping fast, right toward this old man in an Armani suit with a clipboard, no helmet, like he thought he was bulletproof. Training took over. I tackled him. We hit the deck, and the world went white with noise and flying metal. Next thing I knew, I was patching his head with my welding jacket, yelling for help. He looks up at me, blood everywhere, and croaks. "You have her eyes." Margaret's eyes. My mother's name. I'd never seen this guy before in my life, but he knew her. And he was bleeding out, rare blood type, paramedics frantic, so I gave him my blood right there on the deck. Woke up in a hospital bed next morning. The old man, Theodore Sterling himself. He wanted to see me. When I got to his room, he studied me like he was searching for something in my face. "Margaret Coleman's boy. You know, your mother was the best secretary I ever had." Secretary? News to me. He asked about the cabin on Riverside Lake. How the hell did he know about that place? And listen when I told him about the HOA hounding me. He said, "That beam wasn't an accident. Someone wants me dead, and after tonight, they might want you dead, too." I figured he was paranoid. Rich people, you know? But his eyes, they said he wasn't guessing. He sent me out with a business card and a promise. His lawyer would handle any legal trouble I had with the HOA. And for a while, things actually calmed down. I went back to welding. The HOA left me alone, and I thought maybe I'd imagined the whole weirdness. 3 months went by. Then the phone call. Theodore's dead. Heart failure, supposedly. Except Natalie didn't buy it, and neither did I. She told me to get to her office. I made it in 40 minutes, breaking every speed limit. When I got there, Natalie closed the blinds, pulled out an old photograph, my mom and Theodore, laughing, his hand on her back, her other hand on her belly. The date? 9 months before I was born. My brain tried to dodge the math, but there it was. DNA tests confirmed it. Theodore Sterling was my father. But there was a catch. To inherit, I had to defend the cabin for 90 days. If I lost it, every cent went to, you guessed it, Meredith Hawthorne. I looked at Natalie like, "You've got to be kidding." But she was dead serious. Turns out, the cabin sat on top of mineral rights worth $300 million, and, thanks to a legal loophole, Whoever controlled it also controlled access to the entire fancy housing development on Riverside Lake. Meredith needed it to keep her illegal racing and HOA scam running. Horse racing, laundering millions, all of it documented in Theodore's files. He'd been investigating her for months, trying to bring her down. So here I was, staring down Meredith and her bulldozer, knowing if I lost, she got everything. Thing is, I didn't come unprepared. Security cameras hidden in the trees were live streaming the whole showdown to Sterling's board of directors. FBI agents waited in the woods. And Rusty O'Brien, my neighbor, 82, bathrobe and all, was live streaming to every resident with a phone. As Meredith rattled off her lies about health violations and progress, I played dumb, asked questions, let her dig her own grave. Then Rusty ambled over, mug in hand. I'm streaming this to the board, Meredith. They're interested in your $3 million racehorse purchase. Color drained from her face. Security guards started backing off. The bulldozer driver shut down his engine. That's when the sirens started. FBI, local cops, sheriff, the whole circus rolling up. Meredith tried one last play, accused me of murdering Theodore, screamed that I was a bastard son stealing everything. But the evidence, the files, the DNA, the emails from her to board members about bribes and threats, it was all there. As agents cuffed her, she spat at me. You'll never be safe. The people I work for, they'll kill us both. I watched her go, hair wild, screaming promises of revenge. You'd think that'd be the end, but it was just the beginning. The races were supposed to happen that night. $50 million in bets already placed. The warehouse burned to the ground at midnight. The horses were safe. The FBI had gotten them out, thanks to a tip from an inside man. But my phone exploded with threats. I knew I had 87 days left to survive. Every night brought something new. Brake lines cut, fake wives demanding entry, Molotov cocktails through my windows, legal challenges with judges bought and paid for. But I had friends now. Rusty organized the neighbors into a watch team. The FBI assigned a detail to protect me. Sterling's board, realizing I was their only hope, funded my security. I read every letter my father wrote but never sent, sitting in that bank vault, learning about the man who'd watched me grow up from the shadows. The attacks kept coming, imposter relatives, arson, attempted bombings. But every time, they got a little sloppier. By day 85, when Rusty found a bomb buried near my propane tank, I was too tired to be scared. 12 days left, the note said. But that was 12 days too many for Meredith's crew. On day 90, thunder shaking the cabin, FBI and neighbors crowded inside. We watched the clock tick down. Midnight. Natalie read the email out loud. I was the sole owner of Sterling Industries, the cabin, everything. Rain stopped. Neighbors turned on their porch lights in silent celebration. Meredith, somewhere in a prison cell, learned she'd lost to the nobody she'd tried to bulldoze. Next morning, I held a press conference right on the cabin porch. No glass towers, no fancy suits, just the place everyone tried to steal. Promised audits, clean business, the end of dirty money. Took 3 years to scrub the filth out, but by year 4, we were profitable, clean, and feared for the right reasons. Meredith died in prison after 12 years. The syndicate collapsed, horses sent to sanctuaries. The cabin stands, never developed, never sold. I turned the land into a trust. Every year, we have a barbecue for the neighbors. Rusty's still tending the garden. The FBI guys show up. Sometimes, even Tommy Castellano, who's officially dead, makes an appearance. We toast the ones who found courage too late, the ones who kept secrets to protect family, and the stubborn people who refused to let go of home. You know, in the end, this wasn't about billions or empires or even revenge. It was about a father and son who almost missed their chance, a mother who protected what mattered, and a patch of dirt and wood that meant more than all the money in Michigan. My name's Bryce Coleman. Maybe the world will remember me as the bastard who took down a corrupt empire. But around here, I'm just the guy who didn't let anybody bulldoze his mother's cabin. So what would you do? If someone tried to burn down your history, would you fight, run, or outsmart them? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you felt something listening to this story, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and tell me, what does justice look like where you live?